Today, I am Renata Kenangarinda, one of teaching staff from Politeknik Negeri Jember. I am here. It's a great pleasure for me to be the moderator for the 6th International Conference, Food and Agriculture ICoFA 2023. Under the theme, Enhancing Sustainable Future Food and Agriculture's Technology in Saving the Planet. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that the use of digital technology nowadays in agriculture especially is rapidly developed. And in today's conference, we will have a great closer look into several topics, including the first one, agriculture, engineering, and biotechnology. Second, organic agricultures, animal science related to food, food science and technology, food safety, food security and sovereignty, IT for agriculture, renewable and novel energy sources. And last one, we also have socioeconomic related to food and agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, in this very nice occasion, today we are going to have 3 invited speakers from most outstanding university from Indonesia and also outside Indonesia. Without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Insinyur Dyah Maharani, S.Pt. MP Ph.D. from Fakultas Peternakan Universitas Gadjah Mada. Please come forward. How are you, Professor Dyah? Sugeng enjing? Yes, please be seated. Okay, and then the next one. So we are going to invite our second speaker, Dr. Nishu Gupta. Good morning, sir. From Norwegian University of Science and Technology, Norway. Good morning, Dr. Gupta, please. It's nice to see you this following morning, sir. Yes, and then instead of the 2 keynote speakers attending in this nice occasion, we also have 1 keynote speaker that attending this conference to hybrid mode. So I would like to invite Professor Dr. Said Ziani and from Mohammed 5th University in Rabat, Morocco. Okay, Assalamualaikum, sir. Okay, and then, well, ladies and gentlemen, before starting our keynote session today, I would like to inform you about the time given for each speaker and also for the discussion session. Today, in this nice stage, we are going to have first Prof. Dyah to present her research in 15 minutes long, and then after that, followed by Dr. Gupta. Also, we are going to have 15 minutes of presentation, and then the last one, conducted hybrid, we will have Prof. Ziani also for 15 minutes long. And ladies and gentlemen, after the keynote session, finish the research presentation, we are going to have discussion and Q&A session for 25 minutes only after that. So we are expected that today's session for the keynote speaker will be last for 1 hour and 10 minutes long. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so without further ado, the first one, Prof. Dyah, let me spill a bit of information about you to the audiences. Okay, so yes, Prof. Dyah here. I would like to give information about her latest education background. So she was graduated from Chungnam National University, South Korea. Yes, and then she achieved her master degree in Fakultas Pertanian, Universitas Gadjah Mada, and also her bachelor degree from the same faculty and from Universitas Gadjah Mada. Okay, a very long achievement here in your CV. Also, she granted 5 copyrights, and the newest one is granted in 2022 about crossbreeding diagram establishment of G0 local chickens. Okay, and instead of in the education field, she also give her impactful and also insightful roles to become head of the international affair and international cooperation in Fakultas Peternakan UGM. Wow, that's very outstanding achievement. And then not only that, so Prof. Dyah already wrote 27, granted for 27 research grant from various sources, Dikti, UGM, FAPET, Kementerian Pertanian, and also LPDP. Okay. Oh wow, still one more. And Prof. Dyah also already have 58 documents that indexed in Scopus. So give applause for Prof. Dyah, please. Okay. Yeah, so that's a short CV from Prof. Dyah. Actually, there are still many things written here, but yes, I just make it short so that Prof. Dyah can present her research in this nice morning. Okay, Prof. Dyah, so without further ado, please, the floor is yours. Give applause for Prof. Dyah, please. Thank you, audiences. Mbak Dian, the PPT, the committee, the PPT, please. Okay, it's already there, Prof.
Thank you, Ibu Renata. Very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to express my grateful for the committee and also the director of the Polyj, for inviting me in this precious conference. This is a very interesting conference because it's related with sustainable food and agriculture to save our planet. So talking about the sustainable, it cannot be separated with our field, especially livestock, because livestock can produce the animals and also can produce some of the product related with the animals like milk and then meat, egg. Yeah? This is the very important sources of the nutrient, especially for protein, that very good impact for our health. So to produce the highest quality of the superior animals that can be sustained, not only just produced, but it should be sustained to be produced the high quality of the animals. We need to implement some of the methods like breeding program or breeding model. So in this conference, I would like to give you an overview about the breeding model and program for sustainable livestock, especially in Indonesia. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we focus on the before we focus on the breeding model and program, I will give you an overview about the opportunities of our animals. This is kind of This is a kind of a map of our distribution of the animals in Indonesia. You know, Indonesia is very rich country, especially for the animal diversity in Indonesia across from west to east part of Indonesia.
Yeah? Especially in every province, for example, we have local cattle. Yeah? For example, in west part of Indonesia, in Sumatra, we have Aceh cattle, and then in West Sumatra we have Kuantan cattle, pesisir cattle. Even in Java Islands, we also have a local cattle like Jabres cattle and then Onggol cattle. And of course in Bali we also have a Bali cattle. And then in Nusa Tenggara Barat we have Sembawa and another cattle. Even in Sulawesi we also have local cattle as well. So it's mean we are very rich for the diversity of species. So this is, I will give you an overview about the number of our species, especially based on the islands. For cattle, the highest number of population in Indonesia is we can found in our islands, in Java Islands. Yeah? The number of cattle is very huge compared to another island like in Kalimantan, and then in, Kalimantan is lower than we compare in Sumatra. Yeah? And then this is just overview. But for buffalo, we also have a local buffalo. The highest population, the buffalo is in Sumatra, yeah? And also followed by in Java Island, and then in Nusa Tenggara, but in east part of Indonesia, for buffalo is also not much. Yeah? Only few we can find the buffalo in Papua or in Maluku. This is another population that we have in Indonesia, especially for small ruminants. We have the goat and the local goat and sheep. The population is remain steady in every year. Yeah? And the other non-ruminant like pig and also buffalo, the pig number is much bigger than buffalo, but they raise a good one in some of the number in islands. So for this is for poultry. I will give you an overview. Of course, broiler is the most highest population in Indonesia. The population is more than 80% compared to another chicken like layer. This is in the second place. And then for kampong chicken, this is our local chickens. That it should be more effort to develop in this chicken. And then another poultry like duck and then another quail. Yeah? The number population is less than 5%. So this is the opportunities of our livestock in Indonesia. So to improve the productivity of our species, our government have some policy, especially in production. Yeah. Our government regulate the production of not only in the breed stock but also the gem stock as well. Yeah. And then the government also enhancement or establishment of breeding stock region. Then they also releasing the new breed of stock in Indonesia, and also they regulate the incoming gem and also breed stock from overseas. Our government also regulate or issuing the certificate for our gem and breed stock with using standard national Indonesia, and also some of breed stock they give like a certification for good stock in the region. Yeah? And then our government also gave policy in supervision, in implementation of production process and distribution of the breed stock, and also the implementation of good breeding practice in special region that they already established as the breeding stock region, and then they give certification to be a good region that can produce the good or high quality of the breed stock. And of course, the government also have policy to guiding the farmers to be good farmers. Even the farmers is in the community breeding program or coming from the company, yeah? And also the breeding center coming from the government. Our government have a special policy for those kind of breeding program as well. So this is some of the activities that have been done in our country, especially to have high quality of breed stock. Our government built some of embryo transfer centers and then insemination artificial centers to produce the high quality of our breed stock and also the germ stock. To increase the genetic quality, some activities having done with some tests, for example, Zuriat tests, they involve to increase the milk production. They done with the Zuriat test, and then for performance tests, we can use this test to increase the beef cattle population or performance. And then, of course, the other activities like certification. So the germ and breed stock that coming from the local or region, the government give like certification using SNI or special certification, like certification of eligible for breed stock. And the other activities related with the breeding, the government also doing to increase the number of birds. They have a Sikomandan program, yeah, to increase the number of birds and also the breed stock population and also recording improvements. Yeah. So to increase or to increase the business and livestock procedure, our government have a program for guiding the farmers, even in dairy and also in cattle and also in some community services and also in unit, yeah, practice unit in the fields. And to produce the high quality of breed stock, our government built some of breeding centers, especially for cattle. We have a breeding center in Central Java and then in South Sumatra. Yeah. In West Sumatra, we have Padang Mangatas. This is a breeding center especially for cattle coming from overseas, like Simmental and Limousin. But some of them, they also arise local cattle. This is pesisir cattle, the center of breeding in West Sumatra. And then the other cattle, we also have a breeding center in Bali. And in Aceh, we have local cattle, we call Aceh cattle. The center is in Indrapuri. But for chicken, we only have the breeding center in South Sumatra. This is in Sembawa. But another poultry like a duck, we have a breeding center in South Kalimantan. This is in PPTU Plehari. For buffalo and pig, we only have a breeding center in North Sumatra. This is in Siborong-Borong breeding center. And also the pig, they also have a breeding center in this area. So to enhance the number of cattle, not only coming from the breeding center that built by the government, our government also establishment the region that can produce the good quality of breed stock. For example, in 2019, our government already established 22 locations for a breeding center region with 24 species. So this is kind of a good positive to enhancement or to increase the number of breed stock in Indonesia to produce the high quality of our cattle or our species, not only cattle actually. Yeah. So what is the requirement to be a region can be as a breeding center? The first one, the region, it should be free from infectious disease, because you know the infectious disease is very fast if impact to our animals. So that's why the region, they can be a breeding center if they free from infectious disease. And then of course the region, it should be have a specific species that can arise the specific breed stock in this location. So in this region, it should be pay attention about the type and group of livestock, and then should be have a number population, and also have a specific socio-culture that can develop the specific animal in these regions. Talking about the breeding model, this is the main topic of my topics. Indonesia actually have three types of breeding model. Yeah. This is farmer breeding model, and then private or company breeding models, and another one is coming from the government breeding models. How about the farmers? Of course, you know, in Indonesia, the farmers, in smallholder farmers, they only have a few animals, and they are doing with traditional management, and also to get the breed stock, the farmer is only get from the market. Not they produce the breed stock by themselves, because limitation of the educational background, and also the limitation of the captive, and also the limitation of the access to technology, and then the limitation of the funding, of course. So that's why the farmer breeding model is still in the challenging status. Then for the next breeding model coming from or involved by the private or the company, of course in this model, the professional breeders, yeah, they have some kind of patterns. The first pattern, the company, they focus to produce the breed stock to sell to the breeders, to the farmer breeders. So the company only focus producing the breed stock that they can sell to the community. And then the second part, or the second pattern of the breeding model coming from the company, this kind of, maybe you know in Indonesia, like peternakan inti rakyat. Yeah? So this kind of integration model that the company want to increase the number of superior cattle in Indonesia. Yeah. And then the other model, this is recently some of the palm oil company, they arise or they develop this kind of model. This is a SISCA. Maybe some of you know about this SISCA. This is a palm and cow integration livestock model, or we call SISCA. Yeah. And then the government model is, of course, the breeding model carried out by the government agency or BUMN or another research center. Yeah. The aim of the government breeding center, I already mentioned in my previous slide, is of course the activity they produce the breed stock for replacement, yeah, replacement of the breed stock in this institution. Yeah. And then the second one, the government want to reducing the dependence on imported
Good morning.
breed stock. Any other? Oh, 5 minutes more. Okay. Yeah. And this is the other model, is kind of integrated breeding model. This model, some stakeholders involved, like a breeder, and then private company, and financial support. This is a bank and also the association of the farmers. This breeding model, integrated breeding model, they call breeding cluster model.
How are you?
Done by PT Agro Investama in West Java. Yeah. In this model, the company distribute the sheep and feed to the breeders, and the breeders then sell back those sheep, and also especially in the wind sheep and the cull sheep to the company. And the process of those business, they support by the bank or financial assistance. And then for the training and counseling and assistance to the breeder, the association of those farmers can be help the breeder to increase the productivity of those animals. So this is another model, this kind of community breeding models. This model coming from the farmers in this remote area, for example, not closely to the market, but this is a suitable model for the region that this is far from the markets. In this model, they have two groups. This rearing farmers, this is a rearing farmers, and then this is the nucleus farmers. In the rearing farmers, the farmers, they design and plan and also implemented the breeding model by themselves, and then they also active in determining the objective of the model, and then selection criteria, and also to do the selection to have a high quality of the breed stocks. And then in the nucleus farmer, they try to select the animal, and then the selected animal they send to the rearing farmers to be a replacement stock. Yeah. But for the culled animal, the unselected animal, they send the animal to the markets. So this is a kind of close breeding model that can be done in community farmer, not far from the far from the market, far from the access of the technology, for example. They do by themselves in the community. So this kind of model have been implemented in some region in Indonesia. For example, I give you the example in Tanggamus, Lampung, for sabu regut. They try to use this the breeding model that they can be work well, and they can increase the number of goat in those community. And another group farmers in Bangka and also in NTB for the name of the goat is Purka Galaxy Agrinak. This is done by research center in Indonesian research center and some of the community farmers in Bangka and NTB. They try to apply this model and now it's working well in those areas. And this is another model that that I told you in the previous slide. This kind of integration breeding model with a palm oil company. So in this model, the livestock can live together with the crop palms, and they have a good relationship, like mutual combination or mutual relationship, because the cow can produce the feces as organic fertilizer, and then the organic fertilizer, of course, they can increase the number or increase the production of the palm oil in this company as well. So this model breeding is now working in some of islands like in Sumatra and Kalimantan, that we know that they have several oil palm company in those islands. So talking about the breeding program, actually in the model that I explained in the previous slide, they practice or they implement both like open nucleus breeding program or closed nucleus breeding program or mixed breeding program. I will explain you about the open nucleus breeding program. This kind of breeding program that the breed stock is not coming from the community. I will explain you that in this breeding program, the program consists of 3 populations. Yeah. This is the nucleus group, and then this is the population, basic population, and this is the community. Sorry. This is the community group. Yeah. So when the nucleus group produce a foundation stock, and then the superior female will be sent to the center of artificial insemination that can produce frozen cement, and then the frozen cement can be used for the community, yeah, the farmer community. Then if they have a good offspring of this coming from those group, the superior cattle, for example, they can sell or come to the population basic, and they do selection in here, and then if we have a good superior, then we can back to the nucleus. This kind of closed nucleus breeding center. But for this one, yeah, if they have a good superior and coming to the insemination artificial center, then the group can produce the high superior, then can send to the nucleus group as well. So this kind of open nucleus. The nucleus group not only coming from this group, but they can coming from the community group, even in the basic group or in another institution like artificial institution. This kind of model is like open nucleus breeding program. So the other model or the breeding model, this is kind of mixed breeding program with the open and closed nucleus breeding model. So in this nucleus group, they have 2 types or 2 categories depend on the purpose of those livestock. If they want to produce the cross breed, then the breeding model they apply for open nucleus, meaning that the breed stock coming from, not from the nucleus group, but they are coming from the outside of the group. Or sometimes they can, the breed stock coming from the officers as well. This is possible. So this is the breeding model about the open breeding model. But for closed breeding model, the breed stock not enable or cannot allow coming from the outside of the group. So if the nucleus group produce the high quality of superior male, for example, then the male sent to the community. There have many female in here, and then the offspring of those group, and then we selected the superior female or superior male, they back to the nucleus again, the nucleus group again. So this kind of breeding model is a closed breeding model. So,
excuse me.
Okay.
Yes.
Conclusion. Yeah. So, based on my presentation, I can conclude some of them that breeding model that can improve our breed stock to produce the sustainable high quality of the animal. I suggested to try to do the breeding model, especially for the breeding model of integrated breeding model. It's better to practice in the area that close to the market and also close to the market ecosystem. Yeah? And then the community breeding model may be better to apply in outside of Java Island or in the remote area, because they only focus on the community opportunities. Yeah? So the community breeding service or community breeding program is better to apply it in outside of Java or in remote area. But for integration with palm company, of course, it should be applied in the region that they have oil company. And then for breeding model, it depends the purpose of the livestock. This is for crossing, to produce a crossbreed or pure breed. If you want to produce the crossbreed, then just use open nucleus breeding model is better compared to the closed breeding model. If you want to produce the pure breed stock, then you can apply the closed breeding model. Then the recommendation for policy, you know that I mentioned in the previous slide that Indonesia or our government already established the region for breeding center that can produce the high quality of animals. So if the government have a power to maintain the region with the specific breeding models or specific program, depend on the sources of the location, and every region they already established 22 locations. So if every specific region have a specific model, specific species that can produce the high quality of the breed stock, I think Indonesia can be more rich compared if doing nothing. Yeah. And then the second suggestion, of course, the livestock cannot be done by alone. Yeah. The stakeholders coming from breeders and then educational institution, government institution, and private sector, it should be joined together, integration together to build, especially in this breeding center area. So I think for support the funding from the government, from the private company, or from the breeding community, they can produce the specific product from the special region. So, yeah, if this kind of activity done together and with the same spirit to have or to get the high quality of animal or breed stock, yeah, we can produce more number of good superior of animals. I think this all for my presentation. Thank you for I very appreciate for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, give applause for Professor Dyah. Okay, thank you. Yes, Professor Dyah already gave her research presentations about animal breeding. We see that for her presentation just conducted before, me personally, I got so many new information and interesting informations about it, such as Indonesian natural resources and kinds of model of breedings, and also how the stakeholder in Indonesia especially should work hand in hand in order to make our country better. Okay, yes. Thank you so much. I actually have several questions intended to be asked to Prof. Dyah, and I am sure that all audiences here already know the same thing. But please hold on, and because after this we are going to continue with our second speaker first. Jadi Bapak Ibu bisa ditulis dulu, tahan dulu pertanyaannya, okay? And yes, without further ado, so next I would like to invite our second speaker, Dr. Nishu Gupta. Okay, can I give a short introduction first? Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, so Dr. Gupta is a senior member of IEEE. So currently he is holding a position in postdoctoral fellow in Smart Wireless System Group Departments of Electronic System, Faculty of Information Technology and Electrical Engineering at Norwegian University of Science and Technology, Norway. Okay, so Dr. Gupta just told me today this morning, so it is his first time to come to Indonesia. I would like to say selamat datang. Okay, and yes, finally the floor is yours. Please, sir.
A very good morning to all the participants, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. It is really a pleasure to be here in front of you all. So before I share my presentation with you, I have a small incident to share. Before reaching this place, I was in Bali day before yesterday, and someone suggested me to visit a place called Uluwatu. So I was excited to visit that place until I got to know that this place is full of monkeys. So there were a lot of guides over there, and it was written also that be cautious about your wallet, your goggle, and they can snatch anything from anywhere. So I kept all my belongings inside my trouser except the power glasses that I have to wear. And you know, a naughty monkey came from where I don't know, and it snatched my power glasses. And so if after this speech, any one of you come and meet me and shake hand, don't feel surprised if your hand is here and my hand is here. Because I am having that vision blurriness because my specs are broken. Although that monkey was so kind to return me my spectacles after breaking it. So I have requested the team who is managing this presentation to give me a laptop because my vision might be blurred if I look at this presentation. So I have to synchronize with the team. So I'll try to keep my presentation short and brief. as already told, I'm a postdoc fellow at Norwegian University of Science and Technology, where my basic job is to implement IoT-based technology, which pertains more to deep learning and machine learning, injecting artificial intelligence in different applications. So this agriculture sector is one of the applications that we are working on. Besides this agriculture sector, we are more oriented towards healthcare and intelligent transportation systems. The bigger picture of which we can visualize to be smart cities. So we work in integrating IoT, sensors, actuators, and the algorithms related to vehicular communication and smart healthcare applications. So when it comes to agriculture, related to the theme of this conference, various contexts of agriculture are commerce, farming, and knowledge. As we all, and we obviously understand this, agriculture is something that contributes a lot to any country's GDP, just like for Indonesia as well. Next slide. I have cut short this presentation so as to meet the timelines provided to me. So the top agriculture producing countries, just the top ones, it doesn't contain the all. So United States, China, Brazil, Argentina, India, France, Russia, Germany, among other nations, these are the primary agricultural producing countries in the world. While I was going through the documents, I saw Indonesia is also a top agriculture producing country with a lot of products like cinnamon, palm oil, coconut, rice, and many such things, tea, which contribute to the agriculture sector of the Indonesian GDP. Next slide. Everything on this slide is not meant to be read here, except that these are some of the applications that pave the way for smart farming. So farming is the conventional farming. The farmer goes to the field and cultivates the land and produces the crop which reaches us, is the conventional mode of farming. We as consumers less realize the efforts, the risk factors, and the hard work that a farmer puts in while producing that crop. We as consumers have a lot of choice among selecting the crop that we would like to eat. But the farmers are very much constrained with a lot of risk factors and what crops they wish to grow. So we as engineers and technologists, we should come up with some applications to add some diversity to the way the farmers cultivate the crops. Next. IoT-based applications can generate approximately more than 2 million jobs in the agriculture sector over the next 1 decade. This is a data not created by us, but this is a globally available data. So various roles of job that we as engineers, we as technical people can get absorbed into are agriculture quality certifier, data analyst, drone flyers, field workers, geotagging, and warehouse managers. IT and digital transformation in agriculture. Agriculture sector is a very risky entity. We have to identify how can we help the farmers reduce this risk, enhance more of the production with monetary gain to them as well as integrating this gain to the country's economy. Next. So here, quickly I would like to brief you different types of risk that the agriculture sector faces. One is the production risk, post-harvest risk, market risk when you are selling your product after harvesting, and the ecological risk, the natural risk, you know, the limitation of the land, the limitation of water, and so many resources, because agriculture is totally dependent on resources. So how can the digitization of agriculture, or we can say, how can smart agriculture help the farmers to overcome the risk involved in this particular business? Next. Cloud computing. So this is a new terminology that we are introducing to the agriculture sector. Cloud computing, let me introduce what is cloud computing. It is a tool to make IT related services available in a simplified manner and hiding those complexities of the services. So many of us present here might be well aware with this terminology. Many of us might be working in this field. If not, this is a good platform for all of us to share the benefits of this technology, which is no more a new technology in the current research trend that is going on. This technology will help the farmers to break the limitations. Now I take you to the current scenario. Next. 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 This slide will very easily explain you what is the current scenario where a farmer calls various channels for information about its queries, about his queries. So in the context of the Indian agriculture scenario, a farmer has to contact n number of channels to collect the data to get his services done right from the production stage until he brings the product to the market, which is a very challenging, very time-taking process, and most of the farmers who belong to the rural areas in any country, it is not always possible for them to be highly digitized, highly equipped with sophisticated smartphones and technologies. So how cloud computing is going to help them, we see. Next slide. With the help of cloud computing, if you see, the farmer calls cloud for any query. If for any reason any of us is unable to understand what does the cloud means over here, this is just like you save your data on Google Drive. You save your images or any presentation or anything on Google Drive or on any other OneDrive. Different companies offer different types of drive. Right, that is nothing but cloud. So keeping your data in a repository, in a storage form, very near to you. So that is what you call cloud. So instead of approaching different entities, different government services, a farmer can directly query the cloud. The cloud in turn fetches data from the remaining all other entities. So you see how much effort and time of a farmer is saved if he involves the use of cloud in his agriculture system. So the analysis of the data collected from the farmers helps to provide the real-time reports. So at the end, everything converges to the collection and effective storage of data. This is just to show you how the agriculture services are being catered by cloud computing. So you see, round the clock you have n number of applications that can be catered if cloud computing is implemented in the agriculture sector. Deep learning is another technology, or we can say it is another subset of a bigger set, artificial intelligence. Many of the participants present here, I'm sure you must be working on this technology. Maybe your application is different, but deep learning or machine learning technology is something that can be applied to any sort of application. Not only it is confined to agriculture sector, but to any application that you are looking forward to. So this is a conventional method related to human designed feature representation. So in deep learning, as you might be aware, there are different types of techniques out of which you select the one that suits most to your requirement, and then you get the desired result. So there can be a training, there can be an untrained system, different types of convolution and layers are there in a deep learning system that help you design your own algorithm. This is, I have collected different screenshots of what we people actually do when it comes to agricultural applications. So we train a system. In the coming slides, I'll show you a demo of how do we do that and how do we collect the data. This is one such example of deep convolutional neural network based detection system for real-time corn plant. In India or in many of the European countries, corn is a major crop that farmers produce. However, corn is very much vulnerable to disease. So there is a requirement to recognize or early detection of the disease, and using the different techniques, we try to predict and we try to detect the disease that the crop yield may be hit with. Next. Thermal imaging assisted infection classification of crop is another such technology that we bring into picture in order to predict or detect rather the diseases in the crops. So we follow certain algorithms, certain procedure among these machine learning or deep learning technologies for the detection of the crop. You see, when we talk about IoT, we can never stay without the sensors. So different types of sensors are used for the prediction or the monitoring of any crop. So here we are trying to use a support vector machine classifier for the monitoring of sugarcane. You see, we have connected one sensor to an Arduino just to capture some data. Earlier we used to have different sensors, soil sensor, moisture sensor, humidity sensor, but now we have an integrated sensor which can give us data in a single go. So for soil, moisture, temperature, humidity, we need all in one sensor that is now available in the market that helps us to identify a lot of parameters that we wish to know, that helps us in the agricultural requirements. This is one slide that shows you how are we collecting the data from the local system to the cloud and how this data is integrated and further aggregated. So by utilizing various data, it is possible to realize the increase in productivity. This has already been implemented, and though I would say it is still in its young stage, because not all farmers across the world or in the developing countries, they are still used to this technology, but this is something that has to be taken to them, or we are the ones responsible to further extend this technology to the farming domain, so that they realize the potential of cloud computing, in enhancement of IoT in agriculture. That would definitely help them and in the longer run to the nation. Next please. So this is one real-time picture that we have taken with one of the collaborators in India, where we work with them by applying the deep learning or the machine learning techniques directly on the crops. So if you see, here we are talking about the maize crop. Maize crop is another one such crop which is very vulnerable to catching diseases. So small worms are there that eat up the fruit before that fruit is completely ripened to be taken. So we have to devise such technologies that help us prevent such crop loss. Next,
Okay,
please.
sorry, Dr. Gupta, 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes, okay. Next, please. Now I'll quickly show you within 2 minutes what are the different technologies related to IoT deployment where we can, which we can apply to our work. So we have to focus on water, soil and crop health management. So if we integrate all the management, we feel we can do good in this particular field. So these are the different components. The Arduino module, this is the conventional Arduino module or Arduino Uno. Many of you might be using this microcontroller, but now we have more sophisticated and more advanced microcontrollers which we use for such sensing and actuation based technologies. You see this, I'm sure this is not much visible to you. This is a real-time screenshot that we have taken which shows you all the data, the moisture, temperature, pH value, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium value that a plant contains. So this is the way we collect data, the real-time data. Another slide just to show you how we are collecting the pH value, what is the soil moisture content, and those necessary parameters important for us to know. Next. So this is another real-time work that we have applied in the monitoring of sugarcane. This is how we are collecting data using different types of machine learning technologies. Next. This is the way we are collecting data through cloud on our local system. Next. Real-time corn disease detection using Intel Neural Compute Stick. You see, we have a device with which we have connected it to the microcontroller and getting the data from the sensor and analyzing those data. Next. So to conclude this speech, I would say that big data is revolutionizing the agriculture sector across the world. So there always exists an opportunity at the bottom of this cycle, that is the farmers, to gather and share data, which is very critical for value addition and collaboration with government towards policy formation. It significantly contributes to the revenue generation within the agriculture sector, and they add a lot to a country's GDP. We need to harmonize the agricultural policy because all policies might not be favorable to the farmers, but we need to come up with the amendments so that these policies are helpful to the farmers. And last, big data or the IoT sector is here to stay. It is just the beginning. We are still at the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot more to come in the next decade and the decades to follow. So this is going to stay forever, and we have to utilize and harness the advantage of such technologies. With these words, I'll say thank you to you all for listening to me, and I welcome questions from you all. Thank you.
Okay, give applause for Dr. Gupta once more. Okay, thank you, audiences. Okay, thank you for very well structured and also insightful presentation for Dr. Gupta. Yes, so sorry for the broken glasses. So do you want to still come to Indonesia next time? Yeah, yes. Hopefully the broken glasses stories happens in Uluwatu doesn't make you stop to come to Indonesia for next time. Okay, also this second presentation gave us very interesting and also news information about the essential use and also the positive roles of technology in any kinds of field, such as today in agriculture. Okay, thank you so much for your knowledge sharing to us. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, also I am sure that you are already have a note several questions for Dr. Gupta. However, we still have one more presenter to be invited. But the third speaker today is not coming here with us in the stage. We are going to have a hybrid presentation through online platform. Okay, so the third speaker today, so I would like to give a short description first about Professor Dr. Said Ziani. So Professor Ziani is a professor at the Health Technologies Engineering Department at Mohammed V University, located in Rabat, Morocco. And his research interests spans a wide range of topics, including digital design, industrial apps, industrial electronics, industrial informatics, power electronics, motor drives, renewable energy, and other things just like motion control and artificial intelligence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further talking, I would like to invite our first speaker. So please, Dr. Ziani, time is yours.
Hello, everyone. I am Ziani Said, a researcher in biomedical engineering, specializing in control, command, and energy system. My work focuses on advancing control algorithms for optimal biomedical system performance, optimizing command structure, and contributing to sustainable energy solutions. Excited to share insights, learn and explore collaboration. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to engaging with you during this presentation. In the context of saving our planet through agricultural technology, my research in biomedical signals, specifically ECG, underscores the interconnectedness between environmental sustainability, and human health. By advancing technology in ECG signal processing, we not only enhance healthcare, but also support healthier workforce essential for the sustainable development of any society. However, when the issue is closely tied to something, to someone, there, to us all, research becomes a necessity. Someone here is the facts. Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that 1 out of 125 babies dies each year due to heart malformation? It's crucial to understand that these malformations appear in the early weeks of pregnancy. However, it's important to note that remedies exist if we can detect them in time. To identify this malformation, it's essential to obtain the electrical activity of the fetal heart, a process achieved through a diagnostic procedure known as an electrocardiogram, ECG. As we show here, a normal ECG should include, without delving into medical details, the P wave, QRS complex, and T wave that repeat pedically with regular temporal rhythm. I will provide you an example of electrocardiogram acquisition by embedded system. As you can see here, electrodes have been placed at specific ends on the body of this young boy. He is my son, Mohammed. The electrodes are connected to an Arduino or Raspberry embedded system, and via an electronic conditioner, and the program displays the measurements of the electrocardiogram as see here. You can observe all the waves are present. This ECG is normal and not anomalies is here. For an adult, the procedure is relatively straightforward. Required placement of specific electrodes on the chest to capture electrical activity. However, when it comes to fits, the mother's womb process comes notably difficult. Here, the electrodes must discern signals from 2 Hz, the mothers and the fetus, with an amplitude that is nearly negligible in comparison with to the mothers. As we can show here, the signal is a mixture of both the MECG of the mother with an amplitude very high and smaller than 1 corresponding to the fetus, denoted ECG. M ECG and F ECG constitutes mere noise compared to that of the mother. This noise represents our main objective, as by extracting the FECG, we can diagnose the fetal cardiac state and consequently save its life in case of anomalies. Objective is how to extract this ECG objective is the work in the field. This issue has persisted for several decades, and numerous recent and earlier studies have explored this field. Recent and previous work is grouped into 2 methods: global methods, single channel methods, and multi-channel methods. Single channel methods is characterized by high complexity, complex algorithms, and very difficult real-time implementation. multi-channel methods require multiple sensors, high complexity, characterized by high complexity, but it's also dangerous to the mothers and her kids because it used multi-channel methods. Our research aims to establish a methodology that fulfills the specific criteria. In this context, I will introduce the latest techniques, the realm of extracting the fetal ECG signal using artificial intelligence. The methodology I have developed has gained acceptance in the prestigious Q1 Quality Journal Multimedia Tools and Applications and is slated for publication in 2024. Titled Hansen Fetal Electrocardiogram Classification, hybrid approach incorporating multimodal data, phasing, and advanced deep learning models. The outline of the following presentation is we present the methodology, the global methodology, the results and discussion, finally, conclusion. The mathematical model, mathematically, the mathematical model proposed in this study revolves around identifying the extracting source signal from observations x1, x2 to xn constitute the observations uttered through skin sensor of Mada placed on pregnant woman's body. Figure 2 illustrates the physical connection between sensor or source and measurement. X1 or X2, X1 is a matrix or a mixture of the fetal heart activity and maternal heart activity. The coefficient EG here, let XE be the signal captured by an electrode I, we can write Xi equal to A. I1 S1 plus A2 S2. The coefficient denoted as EG are contingent upon the position of electrodes on the mother's body, specifically as the electrode proximity in the proximity of mother's chest increase the variable Xe more closely mirrors the maternal ECG. Conversely, when the electrode is situated in the abdomen, it captures a blend of both fetal ECG and maternal ECG. Unfortunately, implanting electrodes in the uterus is medically harmful to the fetus, especially in early pregnancy. Therefore, during this phase, electrodes are positioned on the abdomen. Despite the distance from the mother's heart, they capture a mixture of fetal and maternal cardiac activity due to the higher amplitude of the maternal ECG signal compared to the fetal ECG. The global algorithm of this method is shown.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yeah, we will show fetal, the global algorithm in slide 11.
Excuse me, Professor, so you still want more minutes to go?
Yes. Okay. The global algorithm or the mechanism of the global algorithm is as follows. We will auto-generate a training database by constructing a scalogram for abdominal and thoracic electrodes by using the continuous wavelet transform. By applying the NMF mathematical tool, we subdivide the signals based on their quasi-periodicity. We can generate thousand time-scale image for fetal. We apply, on the other hand, we apply the ACA methods and PCA by using continuous wavelet transform. We generate time-scale images for the extracted signal. The aim of which is to blindly separate the observations into independent and principal components. However, we use a significantly different number of observations of electrodes. We construct the scalogram of the extracted system and classify solutions and classify them using the intelligent system AlexNet algorithm. Our intelligent machine classify training class already built for a given number n of observations. The performance indicator for the machine intelligence accuracy indicate an optimal value where the performance indicator of intelligent machine indicates an optimal value. We stop this n and then attempt to reduce the observation. Finally, we extract our FSG, the results. We will provide the results of this work and discuss these results.
Excuse
begin,
me, Professor,
in order.
time is up, so sorry, this is very limited.
Okay, no, I will provide the results quickly. Here we present the data set. The DAISY dataset comprises 8 recordings. In order to validate our approach, the FusionNet database is used. The purpose of using this database is to validate the present algorithm by two databases. ACFM time scan generation, as we shall have the complex of the mother and the complex of her fetus or the fetus. By applying the algorithm, the machine, our intelligent machine, give us the results for n equal to 3. The accuracy is mediocre. For n equal to 4, the same things, accuracy is mediocre. And for n equal to 5, accuracy is optimal. So we can show here the fit electrocardiogram in case of n equal 5, as we show here, the fetal ECG contains only the complex RS of the fetus And we show here the massive ECG, MECG, contains only the complex ECG of the Mada. Conclusion, the purpose deployment and CIA approach shall promise for extracting efficiency signals. However, alternative methods like hybrid approach and evolutional neural network also perform well. Feature research should systematically compare these methods to understand their strengths and limitations, considering factors like noise, fetal heart rate pattern, and motion. This comparative analysis will enhance the practical applicability of FECG signal extraction in clinical setting. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much for Professor Ziani. Please give applause for him. Okay. Okay, thank you, Professor. So even though we are separating by
Thank you very
distance,
much.
yes. So even though we are separating by distance, so we are still able to get something from your presentation. So it is nice to have a new and also insightful information about enhancing fetal electrocardiogram classification. I have a hybrid approach incorporating multimodal data fusion and advanced deep learning models. Once again, thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the end of presentation session from the keynote speaker. So we already have Professor Dyah and also Dr. Gupta, and then the last one we already have Professor Ziani through hybrid mode. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the most interesting session that we are waiting for. So I would like to invite you to give questions, maybe a suggestion or something that you want to know furthermore about the presentation from the three outstanding speaker. Okay, for the first session, I would like to invite three participants first. Please do not be hesitant to mention your name and your question. Okay, please. Yes, sir. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, I don't know, okay. Thank you for Professor Dyah, Professor Gupta, and Professor Said. What a nice presentation, and I would like to ask at least one question for each presenter here. Okay, can
Sorry, sir, what's your name?
My name is Ilham from Polyj. Okay, Ilham Muklisin from Polytechnic State Polytechnic of Jember. Okay, firstly for Ms. Dyah, I'm sorry because I'm just common people that little understand about the cattle industry, so maybe my question a little bit general. So the question is, because we know that I think some of the disease that attack the cattle in Indonesia came from the outside, from other countries. So in case of the local breed species of cattle, is there any benefit or advantages that we can give to the Indonesian farmer that, hey, we can encourage you because the cattle, the local breed cattle is blah, 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 have some kind of benefits. I would like to ask you about your opinion and experience about the benefit or the advantages of these local breeds from Indonesia. I think if I'm Indonesian farmer, the people like me tend to use from the Australia cattle or something, which is more popular maybe. Personally, I think they are more popular than the local ones. So I would like to ask about your opinion and experience about this question. And then for Professor Gupta, okay. I think in Indonesia, based on my experience, some of them, they are scale farmer, a little scale farmer. So maybe the technology, if, for example, in your presentation, we have to put or install some kind of device into the field and to collect the data, and then we interpret the data, and the result can be used by the farmer to get information. Maybe some Indonesian farmer could not afford that kind of technology. I would ask to you, is there any kind of the technological company that already has the data, so the Indonesian farmer just could download the data and use it, or something like that? Is it also affordable for them? I mean, is it the technology kind of very is cheap or expensive? That is my question. And then for the Professor Said.
So 3 questions.
Only 2?
Okay, 2 questions I think is enough, sir. Where we can give the floor for another audience.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ilham. Thank you so much. Yes. Sorry to cut. Thank you. Okay, so we already have 2 questions, and then I will invite one more participant to give 1 question to the our keynote speaker here, please. Oh yeah, ma'am. Yes.
Hello, my name is Titania. I actually have a question for Dr. Gupta. I think your research is amazing. I'm really interested of seeing your idea getting applied in a scaled up real-world application, despite the challenges that may arise. So how would you suggest for the farmers to obtain the sample from their crops? Because what I imagine is that they will have big batch of harvested crops, and the quality is not uniform as well. So how would their data contributes for the government to make better agriculture policies? Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, so yes, as it is expected, there are so many questions raised by a participant, but in this first session, so I would like to give 3 questions only first. Okay, so from the first question from Pak Ilham, so directed to Professor Dyah, related to the, so he mentions about 2 kind of breeding in Indonesia, which is coming from local and also imported. And he said that he prefer to use the imported one. So based on your opinion, which one better, which one give a benefit or advantages actually toward our society?
Thank you, Pak Ilham, for very nice questions. Actually, my answer is depend on your purpose. If you want to get more benefit fastly, maybe you can have imported, but it's very expensive, right? For the smallholder, I think if they use local cattle, they already adapted in Indonesia. They have they have adapted with the sources in Indonesia, so it's easy to raise this cattle compared to the imported cattle. The adaptation is the most factor that can be consideration, which one you want to raise these animals. Yeah. And then the second one is, of course, if you choose the cattle, for example, they are different species, different breed. Yeah. They are coming from Bostaurus, for example. This climate is quite different, right? So again, they need to adapt the situation, the environment. So again, it depends on your purpose. Yeah. For me, for smallholders, I think it's better to raise local cattle compared to imported cattle, because if you feed, for example, the cattle with standard quality, then the cattle cannot improve like from the like in overseas, for example, yeah, because there's not enough nutrient for the cattle to grow like faster compared to in Indonesia. So yeah, for small herders, I prefer to recommend to use local cattle. Yeah, but for industrial level in company, if they have much budget for raising the cattle, then okay, they can apply use the imported cattle. Yeah. This is my opinion. Yeah. Is it answer your question? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Dyah, for a very well explained answer. Sir, okay? Yes, exactly. Okay, and for the second question is coming from the same person, but directed to another keynote speaker, which is Dr. Gupta. So in Indonesia, sir, we have so many kinds of farms. However, the scale is not that big as in outside Indonesia. So we do have so many things that in small scale. And the use of technology, just that you mentioned in your presentation, it can be implemented in those scale if our farmer, for example, have a problem with the expense of the apps. Is there any apps that are ready to use, free downloaded for our farmer? Please.
So, thank you to both the participants for the question. My answer will be precise, and it should answer both the questions at the same time. So the idea behind implementing any technology is, it doesn't mean at all that we are going to teach machine learning to the farmers. That is baseless. What is required is adaptivity among the youth. We people who are seeking education in higher academic institutions, plus the startups that come up in this sector, along with the support of the government, this is majorly our responsibility to bring this awareness among the farmers. Be it Indonesia or be it any other country in the world, the scenario remains the same. If you recall, 2 decades back, there were no ATM cards. We used to go to the banks and withdraw money by waiting in the long queues. But gradually things changed and the banks started issuing ATM cards. Then the problem of waiting got sorted out. Now we have digital payments. So most of the countries across the world, they use digital payments, wherein you don't even need a ATM card. So things change and people do take time to adapt to those changes. So bringing a small change will make a big difference in the longer run. You cannot teach all the farmers in 1 year or 2 years. But if you make a consistent practice towards it, which has to take the in which the major responsibility has to be taken by the youth of any country, the one who are ready to initiate some startups by developing different types of apps
For example, there are apps using which farmers can find a better price of their crop to be sold in the market before going to the market. So this is just the beginning of such things on a small scale only. Nothing can flourish on a big scale all of a sudden. So if we start like this, maybe it will take 5 years or 10 years. But the way this technology is penetrating in every sector, not only agriculture sector, but here if we talk about this particular sector, it will take time, and it nowhere calls for teaching the farmers the technology. That is not possible anyhow. It is just making the technology reach them, to make them aware that such technologies do exist, and with the help of the educated class people and the support of the government by sponsoring funds, by volunteering such initiatives, we can reach the farmers and tell them about such technologies. Is it okay? The other lady has gone deep thoughts.
Okay, yes, thank you so much for the answer. So yes, again, a matter of collaboration, work together from the stakeholder. So it's not only from the apps itself, however, from the farmers, from the government, and also from the educated people. Okay, yes, and the last question, also directed to Dr. Gupta, related to the system that you just explained before, how it can make our agriculture, especially the system agriculture in Indonesia, to be better, including the quality of the harvest itself.
In context to the Indonesian agriculture system, because there are a lot of crops being cultivated over here, there is, Indonesia is big in area and has a lot of fertile land. So one suggestion would be, if it is yet not followed, is crop rotation. Second thing is monitoring of the crop through drones, which has already come into practice in many neighboring countries of Indonesia as well. So crop detection of diseases in the crop through the drones is a new and upcoming technology. Second thing is crop yield prediction. How much yield you are going to receive from a particular crop in a season is very important, because it decides the value, the worth of the crop being grown by the farmer. The farmer will always expect better amount for the crop he is growing, but it is ultimately the weather and the government on a larger scale that decides whether the farmer is going to get good money for it or not. So better yield prediction is one such solution to a lot of risk being borne by the farmer in any country, especially in Indonesia as well. I hope this answers.
Is there satisfied? Yes or no? Yes, okay. Okay, yes, thank you so much for the participants, although for the keynote speaker. I actually want to continue for the next session. However, the time today is very limited, and I think for the participants, if you have a further question, you may send an email for the keynote speaker, and you can have a further discussion outside this stage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before closing this keynote session, so I would like to give concluding remarks as kind of a summary toward this morning session. So the three keynote speakers already give us very new knowledge, impactful informations about the use of technology in our lives. So we see that technology itself plays very significant roles in any kinds of field, just like in agriculture and also in health system. And again, ladies and gentlemen, so from the three speakers, so we can highlight that all the system can be succeeded by the collaboration among the people itself, the farmer, and the second one is about the government through the policymakers, and then the third one through us, the educated person that can hopefully change the condition of Indonesia and make our country better in the future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so finally, I say thank you so much for attending this meeting. I, on the behalf of the committee, say many thank you for the three of you for attending this international meeting. Hopefully, not only in this meeting we can see and also share our knowledge in another occasion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all participants, please give applause for the all keynote speaker today. Okay, thank you so much. Mbak Dian, is there any photo session together with the participants? Mbak Dian is here? No? Okay, so yes, finally we can end up and, yes? Okay, yes. Picture is a must, I think, here. So yes, we can invite the keynote speaker to stand up here, and please, all the participants, Dr. Yossi, please, to come forward to accompany us to have a picture together. All participants, please, you can go in front to have a picture together with the keynote speaker. Thank you so much. The participants is invited. Okay, please. Yes.